retreat. So our main topic of this retreat is the Four Noble Truths. I think all of you may you may know that the Four Noble Truths is the core teachings of the Buddhist teaching. So that is what the Buddha understood and opened it up to the world. So he taught Four Noble Truths. So the first Dhamma talk is the introduction of Four Noble Truths. So these 2 days we will be talking about them in detail as we can, but not all, but not completely, but I think we may be able to learn and have an idea about Four Noble Truths. In Pali we call Chatu Satcha. It's a short word. And so Chatu means four. Or we can say Chattari is another word. That means four. Arya means noble. It literally means noble. Satchani means truth. The reason that we call them as noble truth, it is because these four truths, these four things, don't change according to the time. It doesn't belong to the time. The truth should be the truth even in the past, even in the future, even in the present. If the truth changes according to the time, that cannot be the truth. That is not truth. The truths never change. The reality never change. The way things are is the truth that goes at all the time. So, in the past, and in the future, and in the present, what we can see inside of everything is the truth. Inside of everything that you have seen, that you have heard, that you have experienced with your 6 senses. So that is why we call them noble truths. Never change. The truth never change. So there are 4 truths, 4 noble truths. Or we can say otherwise. I like to say this. This is the natural science, the theory of the science or natural science. I'm not talking about the science that we generally talk about. The science of everything. The truth which underlies everything, which lies underneath everything. What is everything? That is the first thing that we want to know. What is all? What is everything? It is all about 12 factors. Those are the eye and visual objects. There are 2 factors. Eye and visual objects. And the other one, ear. So 4th one, sounds. Nose and aromas. Tongue and taste. Body and touch or tactile or tangible. That is the 10th. The 11th is the mind 12th one is thoughts. Those are the 12 factors which everybody see as universe. These are the all. That is the everything. Everything means these 12 factors. Internal senses, sense bases, and external bases, the external objects. So the eye deals with the visual objects, the ear deals with the sounds, the nose deals with aromas. What does tongue do? It deals with taste, right? And body, we feel touch or tactile sensation. If it is cold, we feel cold. If it is hot, we feel warm. So it is because of the body. You can't feel hot weather or warm, cold weather with your eyes. You feel it. And the other one, mind and objects, thoughts. That is the everything. So then, the truth lies underneath everything, but we are not aware of it. That is called ignorance. Don't know the truth which lies underneath everything. We are deluded. We see them in a wrong way. We don't see them as they are. We perceive them in a wrong way. We do have distorted perception about everything. So if you go to moon, you would take 6 senses as you, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. So what will be in the moon? There is something to see, right? If there is sound, there might be sound that you can hear. There is a smell that you can smell. There is taste that you can taste with your tongue. And there is a tactile or sensation that you can touch with your body. There are thoughts related to those information in your mind. That's what you have even you go to the moon. If you go to far away from this planet, what will be there? These 12 facts. Can you imagine even anything behind these 12 factors? Right? So now we compress all the universe into these 12 factors. Everything, all. So we are stuck in this. Why? Because we don't know the reality of these things. We don't know how things are. We don't know how they come to be and pass away. We don't see them as they really are. We are completely deluded because we are blind. If you wear a black sunglass on your eyes, you see everything like black, right? So, but everything is not black. So if you remove the sunglass, you see things in different way. We do have a piece of cloth, around our eyes, which doesn't allow us to see the world as it is. That is called ignorance. That means we don't know the Four Noble Truths. The Noble Truth which lies underneath everything. So the first truth is the suffering. That's the first one. suffering. Suffering as a noble truth. It should be understood. Suffering should be understood as suffering. What if someone sees suffering as happiness? Right? What if someone sees suffering as happiness? He doesn't know that it's suffering. He doesn't know that it's very stressful. He doesn't know that it's danger. He doesn't know that he doesn't see it as a dangerous thing. He sees it as a good thing, as a happiness, as a wonderful thing. Then what will happen to him? What will he do? How will he react to that? How will he react to things when he sees a stressful thing as happiness? And also think, if someone knows suffering as suffering, how will he react to things? So there are two people. So one of them knows how things are, and one of them understands the suffering as suffering. One of them doesn't understand suffering as suffering. So will both of them react to things in the same way? No. It's completely different. A blind man and a man who has good eyesight react completely different way. So the man who has eyesight can help the blind man if the blind man needs. If the blind man is humble enough to get help from the man who has eyesight, then that blind man can get help and ask help from the man who has eyesight. So likewise, so the person who understands things as they really are help people who don't know the reality, because he has compassion towards other people. He has kindness, compassion towards other people, because he knows the truth. He knows what is dangerous, what is not dangerous. So, the first truth, suffering should be as suffering is the first one. Suffering should be understood. Suffering as a noble truth. The first noble truth. The second one, why suffering is present. That's the second one. Everything has a birth. Everything has a birth. Everything has an arising phenomena. Even for this cup, this has a date of made, right? Manufactured, yes, that's a good word. Date of manufactured. So everything has an arising phenomena. Even a flower, they bloom and they go away. Even a human, even an animal, even trees, even this planet, even this whole thing, they have arising phenomena and vanishing phenomena. So, suffering has a cause. So, second truth is the cause of suffering. There is a cause of suffering. Suffering itself doesn't appear to this world or in ourselves. The third one is the good news. The good message is there is a cessation of it. There is a cessation of suffering. There is an end of suffering, of stress, of depression, of anxiety, of fear. dissatisfactoriness. There is an end of it, which we call nibbana, the cessation of it, of suffering. The fourth one is the path. How can I get into that? How can I reach to the nibbana? How can I reach to the cessation of suffering? How can I put an end to the suffering? That is the fourth one, the noble truth. The path leading to the cessation of suffering, which is known as Noble Eightfold Path, or we call wise path, the wise way of living, the path towards peace. So, those are the Four Noble Truths that we need to understand. So each truth has a special duty that we need to do. They do have a special thing that we want to do. The first one should be understood by the wise. We should understood what is suffering, what is happiness. And second one, what is the cause of suffering? And third one, what is the cessation? And the fourth one, what is the path? So, in the beginning I told you about everything. Everything means these 12 factors, the internal senses and external sense bases. So those are the 12 factors. So what is suffering? Now, how do you define suffering? So in English, we use suffering to define dukkha, the Pali word dukkha. Things are not going, or things are not as you think and as you wish. Dukkha. Things are completely, totally different as than you see. They are not as you see, they are not as you think. Or me think and we think. Dukkha, suffering. They have a cause of it. Suffering has a cause. What causes suffering? The main cause of suffering, the cause of suffering is the craving, desire, or in another way I can say greed, anger, delusion, jealousy, ego, passion, hatred, ill will, and what else? Lust, and all of the stuff are the cause of suffering. So in the craving, the word craving, in that term, the lust, anger, delusion, and all of them are compressed in it. Craving. When you crave for things, when you have desire towards something, you have a big distaste towards something that you don't like. Because you begin to like and dislike things. So when you like things and dislike things, you have trouble. When you have something that you like, you are happy, but and also at the same time you are afraid of losing it too. So fear involved with it. So then that cannot be the true happiness. That cannot be true happiness. Why? So suppose you bought a new car and you parked it next to the road, and you come to the hall, you go to a home, and a sense of fear is working in your mind. And if you hear a sound of a collision, you get jumped over. What happened? Is that my car? Did somebody hit my car? Right? The fear involved with it. So it cannot be the true happiness if it involves with fear. Do you agree with that? Right? If you have, if you have money, you may be happy, but at the same time you're afraid of being stolen. So how then money can make you happy? How money can bring true happiness to you? It can bring fear into your life. So then money is not very important to be happy. We need it to live, to find our stuff. But our greedy mind says we need more than we want, more than we need. So that's our greed. So that's why it is very important to understand the truth as the truth. Then you can see happiness as happiness. But if you see suffering as happiness, a stressful thing as happiness, then you cannot be out of the stress because you have embraced stressful thing as happiness. That's the mistake that we have done in our life. So we need to lead our mind to see the things as they really are and let go of the cause of suffering. Let go of suffering. Let go whatever it is that is not belong to you. And in order to let go of what is not belong to you, you have to know what is not belong to me and what is belong to me. Right? Because anything that you don't belong, anything that you don't belong to you. That anything you don't belong to, anything don't belong to you. You have to let go of them. Let go of whatever it is that's not yours. So in order to understand that, we need to bring the awareness to the present moment and look into our life and see what we have grabbed as mine and as me, as myself, and then let go of them. So Four Noble Truth help us to understand what is not belong to us and what is true peace that we need to enter. So it shows us the path. So then finally we can find the path, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. It has 8 factors, eight noble factors that we need to fulfill in our day-to-day life gradually. Then we can go to deepest point of our life and see who I am. So you know that who you are. So you may say, if someone asks you, who are you? Oh, I am so and so. No, but is that really you? So you know that you are so and so. You are Bill or Jim or Tim or whatever it is. You can use a name that you got from your birth. Your parents put your name. Right? So then you begin to see you as according to the name that you got from your parents. But we want to know who we really are. Because the thing is that we do have six senses that we consider as ourselves, but the problem is we can't control our mind as we want. We can't control the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, any of them, even external thing. They are not under our control. We get sick, we die. But we see these six senses as me, as mine, as myself, but I'm going to die. The things that I consider as me is going to die. So then, me and mine and myself is just a consideration. It is just imagination. It is just a conditional opinion, an idea, a concept that constantly built up in our mind. But we were not aware of the way it built up. We didn't know. We weren't aware of it. But the Noble Eightfold Path teaches us, and it helps us to see who we really are, and it helps us to let go of what is not belong to you, what is not yours. Once we are free from what is not ours, we are free from fear, we are free from stress, depression, anxiety, all the troubles and suffering. All you need to know is what is suffering, what is the cause of it, what is the cessation of it, what is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So, they all, the eye and visual objects, and ear and sound, all of them together. Here we are, here our world. So all of these 12 factors together, that is our world. That is what we consider as ourselves. Those are, we consider them as me, as mine, as myself. But I have to let go. I have to abandon them, because things come and things go. And even they don't go as I want. So they go as they go. They come and they go. It's like a river. Water flows down always. You see a river, but you don't see the same water at the same time. You can't see that. You can't see the same water again. But you see a river. You see a waterfall, but you don't see the same water. But you don't know that. We don't know that. We just enjoy it. The same with our life. Our six senses, our thoughts, our mind, and everything that we can experience with our six senses. They always flow down. They always change. They are impermanent. Even our thought that we consider as my thought are changing, don't they? Aren't they changing? They're changing. So they flow very fast. And they don't exist forever. They just appear and disappear. And also, thoughts that arise in our mind and our decision, our intentions, they are conditioned. Or, we can say they are conditional. Okay. But we don't understand that they are conditional. We are not aware of that. We are not aware of the way they arise. We don't see the cause of them. So, if we look at our life, what we really can see as our life, let's describe a little bit deeper, a little bit different way than the normal world define it. A little bit different, but these things are seen, are present in this life. The first one is, don't you have a birthday? Do you have a birthday? Okay. Me too. And the second one. What has been happening since you were born to this world?
Getting older for you.
What's happening?
Getting older.
Exactly. Do you agree with that? You are aging, including me too. For all of us are aging, getting old and old and older. So, okay, what is the end of this life? What is going to happen? What is the other thing that we are going to confront?
Death.
Wow. Yeah, it's one of things. That's the one. And the other one that we that we confront between birth and death. Sickness. So we have a birth and we are aging. It didn't stop. It doesn't stop. It will never stop. And we are aging. Whatever we consider as we are aging. Whatever consider as me, as mine, as myself, were born to this world and aging. And they get disordered. That means you get sick. Right? We get sick. So, if we think about all of us right now, maybe all of us are having medicine. Haven't you had medicine in your life? You have. Why? Because we got sick and we get sick. We will get sick. Right? So whatever we consider as me, as mine, as ourselves, are subject to birth, are subject to sickness, are subject to aging, and subject to death. Even this external thing, they have a manufactured date, and they are also going to disappear. If I just take it and drop it here, maybe, then you will see the end of it. I'm not going to do that. But it has an end. Right? So, now, how do you define your life? How do you see your life? What do you see as your life? I'm not being pessimistic, okay? Don't think that. I'm trying to take you to the optimistic way of thinking. You might be thinking, what the hell is this This is all totally pessimistic, right? Yeah, the people say that. If they think that, isn't that pessimistic? No, that's not pessimistic. It's completely optimistic. Why? Because if you understand, if you open your mind to the reality without hiding it, that is where you can find peace, true happiness. That is where you can find the place where you can rest without getting stressed out. without fear, anxiety. So, how many people are afraid of being sick? Some people, they are mentally sick by thinking of being sick physically. They wash their hands more than twice. It's also a mental illness. Some people, they go to bathroom and they stay in the bathroom always. They go back to it and wash their hands and wash their faces and always cleaning. Right? I don't know what's the name of that illness. It's a mental illness too. Yeah, it's an illness, sickness. Huh?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Oh.
OCD.
Okay. It's a lot. I will learn it later. So, you understood what I said, right? Yeah. So, anyway, we are afraid of getting sick. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to be afraid of. I want to live without fear. Okay, if I'm going to die, let me die. That's fine. I want to die with peacefully. That's what I want. That's what I think. That's what I got from my noble friend. That's what I want.
That's what you want?
What I want is, if I'm going to die, let me die. What I want is, I want to die peacefully without being afraid of it. If I'm going to sick, let me get sick. I may find some medicine, or I may not find medicine. That is fine, but I need my peace. I need peace. I need to be strong enough to go through it without being stressed out, without being depressed, without depression, anxiety. So if I am completely stressed out just because of a physical disorder or a sickness, so I am suffering in two ways. The first one is physically, the other one is mentally. So if my mind is very, very strong, even though my body gets sick, I won't suffer mentally, so then I only suffer in one way, not in two ways. So I am free, I am happy, I am peaceful mentally, even though my body gets sick, because my mind is strong. You can get that if you open your mind to the reality without hiding the reality. That's why I try to bring you to the reality. We had a birth, and we are subject to birth, and we are subject to illness, we are subject to aging, we are subject to death. We don't want to be afraid of them. We don't want to. So, but the thing is, we are so attached to this body, the beauty of the body. We are so concerned about it. We want to look nice, right? And handsome or beautiful. So when we get older and older, we lose it. And then we try to do a lot of things. We go to doctors and find a way to, stop wrinkling and stop, the... Huh? Yeah, a lot of stuff and lots of, we are so busy. We are so busy with those stuff. But if you are open to the reality, you will be able to have a nice relaxation, and you will be able to rest in you without being stressed out and afraid of it. Don't feed fear. The people are feeding it. We are feeding our fear, so then it grows fast. It grows very fast, and we get trouble, and we are completely under depression.
And the drug companies make a lot of money.
Yeah, they can do. Yes, they can do that because they are completely blind. So then, when we open our mind to our life, when we look at our life, we can see what we have considered as me, as mine, as who I am. What we have considered as me, as mine, as who I am. Birth, aging, sickness, death. Because all the six senses, including your mind, including your thought, they also change, and your mind also getting older and older. So if it didn't change, you wouldn't be like this. So you would be like an infant, because the mind of an infant and the mind of you is completely different. They are different, right? Why? Because the mind can mature. It grows. It grows. It grows with the help of the information that comes through the senses. And the next time you see it again and again, you see it in a different way. So then, a mind is building up. So you know, naturally, because of the lack of true knowledge, a blind idea, a concept, grows in our mind. That is the idea of me, myself, the self-centeredness, which is the most wonderful trouble maker. Most wonderful, really wonderful. The way it makes trouble. But we don't understand. That is called ignorance. The lack of true knowledge. So, Four Noble Truths is the way things are. Suffering, cause of suffering, the cessation of it, and the path. So when these Four Noble Truths are very clear, we don't want to be afraid of anything. We have a path to get out of this suffering. Yes?
Can I ask you?
Yeah, after 10 minutes we do have a
Oh, okay, sorry.
Dhamma discussion. Then
Okay.
we can ask it. So, the Buddha taught about ignorance, how dangerous the ignorance is. It's like the big, very thick, dense darkness that you don't see a light. There is no stars, moon, or there's no light. Even those beings, who are they? The Chief was talking about some bugs in the night. They have lighting bugs. Yes, even they are not there. It's completely dark, very dense, thick darkness. So you have no way to see a way. You don't see anything. So if you try to walk in the darkness, in a uneven area, which is very hilly, and also it is a big jungle forest, and it has very dangerous animal, but you don't see them because it is completely dark. So if you try to walk in the darkness, there is a big potential or possibility to get trouble. You get trouble. Because you don't know, you have no idea where are you going. You don't see even a tree. You see nothing, just darkness. The Buddha said, ignorance is dangerous than that darkness. Because of the lack of true knowledge, we tend to engage in misconduct, mentally, verbally, and bodily, which brings bad result to us. Very dangerous, stressful situation. Those actions create a stressful situation in your life, and big tension in your mind, and big tension in this world. So, as long as the ignorance, the lack of true knowledge, the lack of Four Noble, the lack of knowledge about the Four Noble Truths, not knowing of Four Noble Truths, not knowing of suffering, and the cause of suffering, and the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. If we don't know that, we are just blind. We don't know what we are doing. We just do whatever our mind says or to do. So then we are driven by a mind of greed, mind of lust, mind of passion, mind of ill will, greed, jealousy, ego. So then when we have a mind of greed, lust, anger, delusion, we engage in misconduct because greed, jealousy, ill will, those stuff, they make you to be selfish, very selfish, and then we don't understand how dangerous the actions that we make, how dangerous they are for me and for others. So we just do it thinking that will make me happy, but it doesn't make us happy. And finally we die without being satisfied with anything. We die with unsatisfactoriness. We die with fear. We die with the depression, anxiety, stress, and with a blind mind, with the blindness. We were born in the darkness, and we die in the darkness. So we want to know that we were born in the darkness, but we don't want to die in the darkness. We need to find the light and light up, illuminate our life, and see things as they really are. That is the Four Noble Truths. To light up ourselves, to illuminate our mind, we need to understand Four Noble Truths. So, even birth, aging, death, sickness, all of them has a cause. There is a cause of birth. There is a cause of aging, death, illness, sorrow, lamentation. So, the cause of the birth, aging, death, lamentation, sorrow is the birth. So we will be talking about them in detail when we talk each noble truth. So I just wanted to give you an idea about the Four Noble Truths and about our life, which we consider as ourselves. And I want you to think like that, in that way. So look at your life peacefully and mindfully and according to reality. Don't hide the truth. It is not very far away from you. It is inside of this. Yeah. It's here. If the truth is here, the peace is here. If you are open to the truth, the peace is there. The true happiness is there. Suffering will be abandoned once we see the truth of our own life. You cannot understand this universe, this whole life, this whole world by looking for external evidence like the normal scientists do in this world. But you have to be your own scientist. You have to make your mind as your lab. There are tools that you need to use in your lab. Those are the 5 spiritual senses and 5 spiritual powers. There are 37 tools to make your lab, to do the experiment, to find out who you are. You have to be the scientist. So that's all about spirituality, and that's what we do in the Noble Eightfold Path. So we come to understand the reality of our own life, of our mind, of our thought, when we look into our mind, when we look into ourselves, rather than looking at other stuff and other evidence. It is just wasting time. You can't find that. But if you look at inside, you can see the main scientific theory, this main scientific theory or law which is present in you. If you can see the main scientific way of the things, then you can see everything. You can see the nature of everything. Then once you know the reality of everything, you are completely free from what is not yours. So, in order to do that, we need to understand 4 Noble Truths. So, let's talk about them in detail. So now, if you have a question, you can ask. So I wish, may all of you be able to understand 4 Noble